All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're going to install a new and I think absolutely critical mental model for anyone who's working with AI. Because when you're interacting with a large language model, what you think is happening, well, it's probably not the full story.
You know the feeling, right? You ask the AI a question and you start to wonder, is this thing smart? Is it having an off day? Is it being stubborn on purpose? Is it actually reasoning through my problem or is it just failing? We've all been there, trying to figure out what's going on inside its head.
But here's the twist. What if I told you that asking whether the model is smart or dumb is starting from the wrong place entirely? That question is already wrong because it's aimed at the wrong target. And this, right here, is the most important idea we're going to cover. You are never just talking to a raw model. You are always, and I mean always, interacting with a complex system that has a model buried somewhere inside it. And understanding that, well, that changes everything. So, to really get our heads around this, let's first pull these two things apart. Let's look at the difference between the model itself and the much, much bigger system that it lives in. Okay, so what is a large language model, really? At its absolute core, an LLM is just this, a probabilistic token generator. You can just think of it as a super sophisticated engine for predicting the next word, or token, in a sentence based on all the words that came before it. That's really it. And this is so important to grasp. There is no mind in the machine. In that core model, there's no memory of your last conversation, there's no intention to be helpful or difficult, and there's definitely no human-like understanding of what it's even talking about. It's all just math and probability. So, if the model is just a prediction engine, where do all the complex behaviors we see come from? You know, the helpfulness, the creativity, the refusals. Well, they come from this system. So let's peel back the layers and take a look inside. See, the model is wrapped in all of this other stuff. You've got the obvious things like the user interface, sure. But behind the scenes, you have things like routing, which might send your question to different models. You have hard-coded instructions and constraints that act like guardrails. You have retrieval systems that pull in new information. And you even have sampler configurations that tweak how random or creative the answers are. It's a whole machine. So here's the bottom line. The model is just one piece of the puzzle. When you experience that flash of creativity or maybe that frustrating inconsistency, that's not the model deciding to do something. That's the result of all these different system parts working together. Your entire experience is shaped by this system. Okay, so model, system, who cares, right? Why is it so important to get this distinction? Well, because it completely changes how we think about AI behavior, and more importantly, how we can get reliable results from it. Let's think about the assistive AI tools we use every day, for analysis or getting recommendations. This idea explains so much. If you ask the same question twice and get different answers, it's not because the model changed its mind. Nope. It's probably because some part of the system, like the context it was given or even that sampler configuration we talked about, was slightly different. Now, this kind of inconsistency is one thing in an assistive tool. But the stakes get way, way higher when we start talking about operational AI that touches critical data. And this image here shows that boundary perfectly. You've got the assistive world on one side and the serious operational systems on the other. And right there in the middle, what's that critical gate? Human approval. That's the firewall.
Let's just put this side by side to make it crystal clear. With assistive AI, when the system messes up, the failure mode is it's confusing, it's annoying, but that's about it. But for operational AI, the kind that might update a customer database or execute an order, the failure mode becomes consequential. It can have a real, tangible impact.
And all of this brings us to our final and honestly our most powerful point. Once you understand you're dealing with a system, not just a model, your whole role changes. You're no longer just a user hoping for a good result. You become an architect who can actually design for a reliable one. And this is what I want you to walk away with today. This quote says it all. If you want predictable, reliable, and safe AI, you stop trying to argue with the model, you stop trying to coax it into behaving. Instead, you put your energy where it actually counts. You design and you control the entire system around it. That is how you go from leaving things to chance to building something you can truly count on.